So, Seth, I opened an email from you a few weeks ago. I don't remember exactly when it was. I'm sure you do. That had a link to Purple, and I'm like, well, this is weird. What is this? You've definitely built communities before. The one question is, Seth, what is Purple? Why should we care? That's the question I have for you. Unpack that for me. And I'm a
Well,
member
you're,
of Purple.
I'm so grateful for the way you show up in the world, Ramon. Thank you. Purple Space, which is at purple dot space,
Mm-hmm.
um, is the water cooler we have been missing. That distributed work doesn't have to mean disconnected work. It doesn't have to mean that we are alone.
Mm-hmm.
And as more and more people work in a remote way, we're missing our peers. Add to that the idea that when we are together with other creators, with other writers, with other entrepreneurs, with other marketers, with other salespeople, our work gets better.
Mm-hmm.
That we know that mastermind groups pay off. We know that being in the right room helps. But just about everyone wants to be in that room, but no one wants to organize that room. And just about everyone in that room wishes someone else would come talk to them. But few of us want to be the person who goes and talks. And so we have this asymmetry.
Mm-hmm.
So what Purple Space is a community of practice. It is now, there's 800 or almost 1,000 people there who show up with their dailies, with their journals, with their questions, with their answers, but they never show up with a pitch, and they never show up with a promotion, and they never show up to look for clients. This is like, you don't date your cousin. This is a cousin circle of people who have each other's backs. And it runs 24 hours a day in every country in the world. And it's not about access to me. I am there, but I am not a guru. I am just the host, the coordinator. And what we are finding is that people all around the world are finding each other, challenging each other, asking and answering good questions, doing their daily writing, figuring out how to find the joy in what they were doing. And so we charge for it so that the people who are there for the right reason. And if you come, there's a probably 50% chance you'll drop out within a week. You'll probably drop out because you say, I don't want to do the work. I don't want to be connected with people. This isn't for me. And the other half of the people who show up are in it for the long haul. And that's great, because you can't build a community of practice if it's for everybody. It's for somebody. It's not for everybody.
Why didn't you just open up a Facebook group, Seth, and put a link and say, join me on Facebook? Here's a Facebook group, or any other number of platforms,
Yeah.
but particular Facebook in particular. Why not just do that?
Yeah, this is a great question. So the people who use Facebook are not Facebook's customers. They're Facebook's product. They're manipulated so that Facebook can make money selling your attention and trust to other people. Mm-hmm. Facebook is optimized for glancing, drive-by, quick in, quick out, easy and convenient interactions that don't get at the heart of who we want to be. Mm-hmm. And what I use is a piece of software called Discourse, not Discord, because Discord gives me a headache. Discourse, which is open source, and I've optimized it with the help of some really brilliant technical people so that it is calm and threaded and ad-free, and it works better on your laptop than it works on your phone. Mm-hmm. That when you show up and say, there are two interesting Zen koans that I'll share. The first one is, if you show up to a teacher and say, teach me everything you know while I'm standing on one foot and holding my breath, the teacher will turn you away. Mm-hmm. Because anything worth learning takes longer than that. And the second one is, this person goes to a teacher and says, teacher, teach me everything you know. And the teacher says, hand me your teacup. And then he takes the teapot and starts pouring the water into the teacup, and the water keeps overflowing and overflowing and overflowing. And the student says, what are you doing? The cup's already full. And the teacher says, that's right. Because if you come to me with a cup that's already full, what do you expect? There's nothing to fill up. And what happens when you show up on Facebook is you already know what's going on. You already know who you are. You already know where you're going. When you show up on a new platform, you have to bring an empty cup. You have to bring in a new process. You have to change the mindset you have when you sit down to do this work. We did that on purpose.
So I come to Purple Spaces, Seth. I'm a new person. How do I, and I'm assuming it's not for this, but my mind has to be oriented. How do I get more known? How do I get famous? How do I become popular? How do I get more clicks? How do I, and I'm sure that's not the case, but I'm asking it that way.
I
How do
love
I
this
start?
question. Yes, this is a great question. You actually asked two questions. The first question is, how do I get more clicks? How do I get more known? If you start putting capital letters and emojis and clickbait in your headers, we will shut you down and then we will ask you to leave. How do you start is really simple. There are tens of thousands of posts and conversations there already. Go find one and contribute. Go find one and be generous. Act like Ramon, because what Ramon does is every time Ramon shows up in a room, he says, who's here that I can add something for? Who's here that I can connect to someone else I know? Turns out, if you give 3 pieces of generous feedback, it won't take long before you get one. And then you're on your way. That the people who lead the community, people like Saurabh, who lives in Goa in India, Saurabh is the leader of the community because he just keeps showing up and helping people.
Yes,
Not
I
because...
noticed. I'm like, who is Saurabh? What?
Exactly.
Who gave him the authority?
Exactly. Right. Or my friend Eva, who lives in Mount Vernon and sometimes Jamaica.
Yes.
You know, when Eva shows up, Eva's not saying, please pay attention to me. She's saying, maybe I can help you with that. And isn't that how we want our lives to be? The internet came along and changed those rules. There's no way 30 years ago, if you knew people in real life who acted the way the idiots on the internet act, that they would be your friends, right? Facebook tricked us. Your friends on Facebook aren't real friends. The people who like you on Facebook don't like you, right? That we can get back to the real thing. And it doesn't have to be in person. It turns out Purple is a good way to start.
And one, I think, last question, Seth, and again, just so glad to be here with you today. Even though I appreciate your deflection of yourself in it, you attract a certain kind of people. Seth, I followed you for years. If I talk too long, I'll cry. It's not like we golf every day, but your vibe, your essence, and I assume you might not, but push back, and it's about the people, but you attract a certain vibe of people, Seth. I have one of your books here. This is marketing. I have Song of Significance here. I have your big 4 million pound book in my garage. So you attract a certain type of people. If you don't mind, talk about just Seth has a platform called Purple Spaces. There's something connecting these people together. Maybe it's generosity. I don't think they're all authors because you have people who could work in a cubbyhole in GE probably there too. So help us understand who are these people? What's the sauce bringing us together?
Okay. First, to be clear, your book right here, the CEO book.
Yes.
And secondly, before I met you, I had hair and I just decided to copy the Ramon haircut. Just we're a mutual aid society here.
I like it.
I am very lucky that I have attracted people with a mindset, not a career, not a nationality or an appearance, but a mindset. And that generative mindset, which really came to the fore in the Carbon Almanac Project, changed my life because I learned more from these folks than they've ever learned from me. And it turns out that many of these people felt like they were the only one in their circle. And that was one reason why they were attracted to the way I try to do my work. And so if I can close that circle by introducing them to each other, these tribes that come about, you know, I heard from Becky, who was in the original tribes group. She has, you know, given a groundbreaking TED Talk, is now doing really important work in publishing. And that was 15 or 20 years ago. It keeps coming around. So what I have said to the folks in Purple Space is simple, which is I'm here. When I can contribute, I do, but don't have a dyad with me. That's not why we're here. We're here for each other. So I have to discipline myself to not show up 24 hours a day because I love it so much, right? And when someone shows up for the wrong reason, and I'm thrilled that only 3 people have been asked to leave, we say, yeah, we get who you are, but you are not bringing the mindset that we are bringing. Thanks for being here. And what I've learned about the internet is internet has 2 words in inter, which means interactions between, and net, a network. It's actually the same word twice. And when we do that online, it works better than when we just try to turn it into a replacement for television. Mm-hmm. And the more I lean into that, the happier it makes me and the people around me. So that's what it is. It's my name is on Purple Space so that the right mindset people come.
I love it. One more question came to mind, Seth, talking about money. In the heart of generosity and giving to others and this spirit, I think it's important. We all want to make a living or be millionaires or make a high profit, so we can serve other product family, whatever it is. But can you just talk about that? Because generosity, I have friends of mine, I'm just, in my case, I'm just serving the Lord and giving to others and they're poor, or I just want to save the world. Can you talk about that, Seth? Because we want to make money or have a house, have a home, have 10 cars. How do we blend and make money as we're generous?
Okay. So I have two parts to the answer. The first one is right on to your question. Generous doesn't mean free. And generous doesn't mean you're giving it away. Mm. If you need heart surgery, God forbid, and a complication arises, and the surgeon leans into her fear and gets through it and saves your life, we can say that surgeon did generous work, even if you got a bill for it. That in fact, sometimes the most generous thing you can do is charge someone a lot, but deliver even more than you promised. That when I talk about being generous, what I'm saying is this: human beings solve problems. When you solve a problem for someone else in a way that creates more value than you charge them, your work was generous. And in fact, the only thing that people buy voluntarily is something that they think is worth more than you charge. So making money, it feels to me, is a symptom of solving useful problems. Now, there are other problems that need to be solved that you cannot make money solving. And that doesn't mean they're not important. They're vitally important. We need to solve those problems too. But if your goal is to make money, to feed your family, to have a place to live, find some problems that people are willing to pay you to solve. And you can do that in a way that is generous. The hospitality, the generosity, the willingness to face your fears as you help somebody else with theirs. So that's my mindset. I think that some people have preached a gospel of manipulation to make money. Manipulation is what happens when you get someone to do something that after the fact they regret. I'm not in favor of that. I think that when we can say to someone here and they want to do it again, we've probably done something generous. Absolutely. In terms of Purple Space and nickels and dimes, if you go to purple.space, there's a discount code so you can try it for free for a week. And if you try it for free for a week and you don't like it, please unsubscribe. The instructions are right there. We're not hiding it. And if you need a fellowship, if you are coming from a group that has traditionally not been empowered, that hasn't had the benefit of the doubt, there's a link on there too. Because the goal is not to take your money. The goal is to create an environment that works for everybody.
Seth, thank you so much for this. I appreciate it. Your time, appreciate it, the gift you are to the world. And it's been great being your friend and learning from you for many, many years, as millions have done.
Oh, you're the best, Ramon. Thank you.
Thank you, Seth. Let's see. I always have struggled finding this.